going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Crypt Door Podcast. I am your host, Tony. Hope you're all doing well today. It is Friday, September 12th, 2025 at 12 noon p.m. 12 noon, the time of this recording. Hope you're all doing great, guys. I know it's been a little while since my last episode. Not super long, but it's been a little while. Sometimes when life calls, you got to answer it. And, I had some things I had to do, take care of, that called upon me, that kind of cut into my podcasting time for a little while. So that's what happened. But I'm back with another episode. I do believe we have Lisa and Tyler Scott to thank for sending me the idea for this podcast. They sent it to me a few days ago, but I just haven't had the time to get on it until now. So let's get into it. Today we step into a story as chilling as the Nevada night sky. Imagine driving down a dirt road near Las Vegas when you stumble across 70 piles of cremated human remains. That's 70. Left in silence under the desert sun. No urns, no names, just ash, scattered like forgotten whispers. Over the next little while, we'll explore the mystery together, the facts, the unknowns, the theories, and, of course, your voices, my listeners, who always bring insight, curiosity, and sometimes your own eerie experiences. So, yes, I did throw it out on social media a few days ago, and had people direct message me, email me, what they thought, their questions, or whatever. So we're going to get to some listener/viewer questions and answers and comments as well. So pour your coffee, dim the lights, and let's step through the crypt door together, guys. So here's what we know. Now this is around the time I got the information, this is what we know. If there's any developments I might have missed in this, please put it in the comment box below. So on August 26th, 2025, around 70 piles of cremated human remains were found near Searchlight, Nevada, an hour south of Las Vegas. They were found on Bureau of Land Management public land. Discovered by a passerby who had notified authorities. Investigated by Las Vegas Metro Police and other agencies in this matter. Now, Nevada law allows scattering ashes on public land. But not like this. Not in bulk. Not as if human lives were discarded. This isn't grief. This isn't remembrance. This is disposal. So we got Sarah from Portland, Oregon. Tony, do we know if these ashes belong to families who never claimed them? Could they be unclaimed remains from a funeral home? Well, Sarah, that's one possibility investigators are looking into. Funeral homes do sometimes hold unclaimed ashes. But dumping them like this? That's not protocol. That's negligence. Or even worse. Kevin from Austin, Texas. What if this wasn't criminal, but ritual? 70 piles can mean 70 ceremonies. Kevin, that's an interesting thought. Some cultures do scatter ashes communally. But the remoteness of this site and the secrecy, that feels less like a ritual and more like concealment, in my opinion. Now let's walk into the shadows here, and these are the things we don't know so far. Who dumped them? Why 70 piles? When were they placed there? Were families deceived? Was this commercial cutting corners or intentional desecration? So guys, imagine finding out that the urn on your mantle wasn't your loved one at all. That their ashes were left in the desert heat. That thought alone sends shivers, doesn't it? So Maria from Santa Fe, New Mexico. My grandmother's ashes were scattered in the desert. with our blessing. How do we know this wasn't something similar? Well, Maria, scattering ashes in the desert isn't unusual. But 70 separate piles? That suggests something else, not ceremonial. Tom from Chicago, Illinois. Could this just be laziness? A crematorium worker thinking, no one will notice, just dump them out here. Tom, sometimes the simplest answers are the darkest. If it was negligence, it still robbed 70 people of dignity, possibly. Now, I've been hearing a lot of different theories on this, so let's break it down here. One theory is rogue funeral home, a business cutting corners, avoiding costs, and breaking laws. Another one is fraud. Families given fake ashes, real remains discarded, as we've heard, in the world here, a bunch of times. This kind of thing does happen. Another theory is desecration, someone intentionally disrespecting the dead. Bureaucratic mistake, mishandled storage, then dumped. And even a mass ritual, a group scattering remains in bulk. Each theory points to failure of ethics, of law, of compassion. We got Jasmine from Los Angeles, California. Tony, do you think we'll ever know whose ashes those are? Jasmine, in my opinion, unless there were urn fragments, records, or forensic links, it may be impossible. That's the tragedy. Anonymity and death without consent. Derek from Tampa, Florida. 70 piles, 70 people. Could this have been symbolic, like a statement? Derek, a statement made with ashes is still desecration. If it was symbolic, the meaning is buried in silence. So, legally scattering is allowed, but commercial dumping is not. Ethically, dignity is non-negotiable. Think of it. The line between ritual and waste. When we cross that line, we treat people not as souls, but as trash. And friends, once a society does that, darkness spreads. So I had heard, different people talking about this. I've heard, there's a funeral director here that had said, I can tell you 70 piles means this wasn't accidental. Someone chose to do this. Another official said, we allow scattering, but this is not in line with policy. We are investigating whether this is criminal dumping. Whether expert or investigator, they all circle the same point. This was deliberate. We got Linda from Reno, Nevada. Could families sue if it's proven their loved ones were part of this? Absolutely, Linda. If fraud or negligence is proven, lawsuits will follow. Andrew from Boston, Massachusetts. Tony, what if this was done with love, but poorly, like someone overwhelmed? Andrew, maybe. But love doesn't hide in 70 piles along a lonely desert road. Love doesn't discard. So what does this mean for us? For families, renewed grief. For industry, lost trust. For regulators, exposed weakness. For culture, a mirror held to how we treat death. So in my opinion, here's what must come next, which I'm sure some of this is. Full investigation. Transparency from funeral homes. Accountability if negligence is found. And reform so this never happens again. Think about it, guys. 70 piles of ashes, 70 stories untold. We may never know the full truth, but we do know this. Every human life deserves respect. In life and in death. So that was the story, guys. So it's still being investigated. That was shocking. It's like it's funny. The more I do these types of podcasts about human remains being like cremated human remains being scattered, it feels like the more I do I'll do a podcast episode. We'll talk about a certain subject like this. The more that pop up, and it's always regarding cremated remains. Lately, that's what I've been hearing. I feel like that's almost not every, but like what a lot of my podcast episodes have been so far. It's crazy. I also heard somebody that emailed me. They didn't identify themselves about this subject, but they had speculated that, if you believe in that sort of thing, if you believe in UFOs or whatever, that basically those were people standing there and they got struck down by laser beams from a spaceship. Now, this person, like I said, they emailed me. They did not identify themselves, but that was one of their theories as well. If you believe in that sort of thing, well, hey, could be. You never know. Out in the desert, there have been UFO things going on out in the desert. Could have been people standing there for something and they all got struck down. That's what my one listener / viewer had, a theory they had sent me. So guys, put it in the comment box below if you have any more theories. If you have any thoughts, put it in the comment box below. We'll talk about it. Be sure to rate this video or podcast. If you're seeing this on YouTube or hearing this on YouTube, be sure to give it a thumbs up, a like, a share. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, be sure to rate the show accordingly with a rating or a comment or whatever it is on whatever platform you're devouring this on. So guys, thank you for walking with me tonight through the shadows, few dare to enter. This has been the Crypt Door Podcast. I'm your host, Tony. Until next time, keep your eyes open and never forget, the dead still speak. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Peace